Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Cannabis Closet Podcast. You are about to get highly educated with the Cannabis Closet Podcast with CannaQueen and MJ. This is an adult content show with no limitations on subject, language, or actions. Opinions, views, and expressions may or may not be that of the host, their guests, or their subsidiaries. Please note that we, CannaQueen and MJ, are not medical physicians. We're not doctors. We're not lawyers. And any information that's shared on this podcast is based solely on our personal research and knowledge. And sometimes we invite nurses and doctors on. So, you could get a little bit more. What's up? What's up? Happy 420, everybody.
Happy 420. Hi, everybody.
Hi, I am. I think I put on my makeup today and I was like, oh girl, what? I was feeling good about it. So
I'm still struggling with the fact that I lost my whole makeup bag.
Oh, I know. It's so crazy. Where could it be?
It's at some random hotel like that, probably at one point that I stayed at. Who knows? As far as when I was traveling and stuff.
It might be shoved into the back of some random ass bag, even though I feel like I've emptied every bag before and then I've gone and looked and I'll be like, wait, did I look in that? And then I would just be like, something is randomly there.
I was hoping more that it was like shoved in my car somewhere that I couldn't see it, but I've pulled all the bags apart that it would be in. I've actually, all my spaces got cleaned recently, so that's why I'm like, it sucks. That brushes in there. Yeah,
you got to replace all that stuff, and it like makeup's expensive,
and it was all the stuff that I actually wear. So I've pieced together a kit. I have backup stuff, but I had to go buy like a few new things, and I was just like, it's so expensive.
So I don't have it yet, and I don't know if I'm gonna have it by the weekend, but I pulled the trigger on a trial run on that Il Maquillage stuff. They do the matching.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'll have to keep you updated on what I think.
Did you do the whole system, like the moisturizers and all the things?
I did like 3 things.
Foundation? Okay.
I did 3 things. I did the foundation and a concealer, and then like one other thing, which might have been like I can't remember what it is. But anyways, they only charged me $5 right now. But I do know that I'm going to be charged later for it if I don't return it. So this is like a trial run.
Right.
Which recently, this happened to me recently, and I did not listen. I'm here to tell you that you should read the fine print. I'll be the first one to say read the contract and then don't read the fine print on the thing. So I got this email, it was junk mail, and it should have gone in the junk, but then it was like, it's a dash cam and you could get it for $5. And I was like, just shipping. And I was like, dope, let's do it. And then we've had it for a couple months. So then out of nowhere, our bank account is charged $130. And I was like, what is this? So we call you can call the 800 number on your bank statement. And they looked it up and everything. And it was this stupid dash cam. It was a trial. Nowhere in, this was in the smallest print ever, because nowhere did it say it was a trial. It was like free camera. And I was like,
it's not going to charge you again like monthly. This isn't like a monthly thing that you would get charged for it, is it?
No, this is the first time we've ever been. It better not. This is the first time we've ever been charged. So I go, she goes, oh, it's for a dash cam. And I go, the fuck? And she goes, ma'am, you don't have to use that kind of language. And I was like, excuse me, that dash cam was free. Look at me holding the phone like it's 1982. And so she was like, the fine print. And I was like, you bitch. I hung up. I was just mad. I was defeated.
Yeah, I would just make sure that that's not some monthly like bullshit.
No, we will immediately. I would be like, no, it can't be, because it's not like on some system. You have to put like an SD card in it or something. Okay. So it's actually just paying for the cam itself. But that's the first, they came through and he was like, what is this? And I was like, I have not used that card for anything that costs that much money right now.
Right.
So yeah, it's crazy. So How was your day today?
It was good.
You had to think about it. Like, I don't really know. It's snowing again.
It is snowing again.
Done.
It's actually not snowing up here right now at the moment, but it was earlier.
Yeah, same.
I
can't.
I don't think it's gonna dump like a bunch on us. It's just a light snow.
Well, it's also snowstorming down in Durango, which I'm supposed to go down there in like 2 weeks. So I'm gonna need this winter storm warning bullshit to stop.
Oh, it'll be done by then. A new one might come through, but then we're starting.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want no more new ones.
But then we're getting into spring, and south is always warmer, so it's not as.
They closed Wolf Creek Pass today. They closed Wolf Creek today because it was too windy.
Ooh.
Yes. Oh, I was like, whoa, you muted. Okay, no, you're fine.
So I was coughing.
Yeah. So I'm nervous about next week, but hopefully it'll be smooth sailing next week.
It'll be fine.
I'm traveling this week and next week, and then the following week, weekend, I'm going to a concert.
This weekend is where I'm, more concerned as far as like this storm that's rolling through and how it, affects the Midwest, because they're not prepared for snow.
Generally not.
Like that.
Generally not.
So it was fine when I rolled through, during my travels. So
yeah.
So and it was bad, and that was bad winter stuff. So
yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But if anybody's wondering why I'm mad today, guess what? It's because of the snow. Also though, I have some others. I found myself on accidentally, on purpose, on the wrong side of TikTok. There was a man on the internet, and he was upset that we dare use such derogatory terms as cis white male. Sir, why are you mad? And so he's acting all oppressed about it and everything. And I was like, how dare you in Black History Month do such things? And I laughed at him, as I do. I laugh at alpha men. It is a hobby.
I mean, it was just, I don't know. I mean, yeah,
he definitely, I've never spoken to this man, but he definitely identifies as an alpha male. Okay. Like obvious. So
alpha male thing. Oh gosh.
Then he denied white privilege exists. And then his buddies, not his buddies, but like, the internet trolls that also just all look like him.
Buddies, yeah.
Come tromping in, telling me that white privilege doesn't exist, even though I've given them like a million. They're like, I've got nothing from my whiteness. And I'm like, but you have.
The fact that you get to say that is exactly what you have.
Yeah. The original guy tried to tell me that white privilege existed in the 50s, but no longer exists now. And that white men are not represented on movies and TV. And that if they are represented, they're stupid or they're gay. And then I was like, oh, thanks for telling me. I knew who I was talking to, but I just needed you to say it out loud. Thank you. We're good.
Yeah. There's people like that. You just can't waste
you can't.
Too much energy.
I was like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here?
I read this ridiculous Reddit today of "Am I the asshole?" and it ended. Yeah, I was like, but this girl's like, "Am I the asshole because my preacher husband cheated on me, got a woman pregnant, had twins, but one of the twins and the mom died, and he wants me to raise the child with him because it's God's will."
The fuck not, sir.
And
How dare
when
you?
she said, that it was God wouldn't give you something you can't handle, she's like, well, he gave it to her.
He gave it to you.
She couldn't and she
Ooh.
like made a comment against the dead, dead
Yeah,
mom.
I mean, a little bit that
and
makes
then and then he slapped her
nope.
and said, you will raise this child. And she was like, am I the asshole for saying fuck you? Yeah. And everyone's like,
am I the asshole for burying my husband in the backyard? Let me explain. Too long, didn't read. My husband cheated on me, impregnated his mistress. She died, and he wanted me to raise the baby, and then he slapped me. And so I buried him in the backyard. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I was like, whoa. Because I was like,
Keith Morrison call me. Just give me a ring.
She was having guilt about, what that is.
Okay, you guys, listen, as a recovering addict of gaslighters, not of drugs, that's the plan. They make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. It's a boundary and you are crossing it, sir. What the fuck makes you think that I'm going to raise somebody else's kid?
And it wasn't, and the thing
the women who do it,
she's like, I need to think about this. She's like, I need to think about this. And he was like, that's what he was like, she can't, God wouldn't give you something you can't handle. And she was like,
he didn't give it to me, boo-boo. He gave it to you.
Yeah.
He didn't give it to me.
And then they get
Listen, God bless the women who raise other people's children. Those children do not deserve the wrath that I am giving right now. They absolutely don't. That it's not their fault. No, but they didn't ask to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, though, like for me, I'm childless. You gonna come in my house and ask me to raise a child that's not mine? No.
Yeah.
Sir, I will do everything in my power to like really keep my marriage together, and we'll work through some shit. We have trials and tribulations. Everybody does. But you gonna need to find a new residence to raise your baby, because there's no babies in this house. Like, no babies in this house. Do they have fur? That's it.
This particular person, she was like, I do want children. I, might not be able to have children.
That's the sting too.
Is this, but also I'm like, no, not the fact that he slapped you and told you had to.
That man's
like,
bitch.
Fuck to the no. I'm out.
That man's a bitch.
You can go get some other church member to raise your
let the church
baby.
raise it. Go tell the church what you did and tell them that you need somebody to help raise your baby.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, that was a Reddit that I read today. Of again, this is kind of goes in line with the men who think that women are not worth their worth in the world.
So I got a TikTok about that. I got this TikTok. It's kind of longish, but we're gonna play it because it's really super, and not long, like 3 minute or less, but I think it's less than 3 minutes, but it's over a minute though, so hang on to your hats with your attention span. But it starts with like a bunch of dudes talking about how they could, if all the women were gone, it would be fine. First of all, sir, there are men, grown humans, and I'm not lying about this. I read it on the internet. It has to be true. I also saw, anyways, it's gross, who don't wipe their ass because it's gay. And I'm just going to have to tell you, there's no way you could live on this planet without women. Like, literally, you don't even wipe your, I can't anyways. So I feel like this has been proven more than once that that's impossible, you guys, that it's impossible. But here's one example. It's still February. We're not quite at Women's History Month, but I really do love this video so much. So here is what it sounds like to live 24 hours without women at all. Okay.
World. If all women took a day off today, no one would give a shit.
On October 24th, 1975, Icelandic women went on a strike that is now called the Long Friday. 90% of the female population of Iceland participated. For one entire day, they didn't do any work. They didn't go to their paid jobs, they didn't do the housework, and they didn't take care of the kids. Banks and factories had to close, as well as some of the stores, and almost all schools and nurseries. This left fathers no choice but to take their children with them to their jobs. They tried to entertain them with sweets and crayons. On a lot of radio stations, you could hear children in the background that day. Sausages were really popular amongst the children and a very easy dish to make, and since the women weren't cooking, the sausages sold out within hours. Telephone service was at a virtual standstill, newspapers had to close, and a lot of flights couldn't take off. Icelandic men had treated the strike as a joke first, but then started calling it Long Friday. 1 year after Long Friday, the Icelandic parliament passed a law guaranteeing equal pay for men and women. A lot of men like to brag about how the world was made by men, which is basically true because throughout history, women weren't allowed to participate in most aspects of society. They forget, however, that these men wouldn't have been able to put as much time into their work if it weren't for the wife who was taking care of all the things at home. All those wives who were basically their personal cook, cleaner, and nanny. Till this day, even in the most progressive countries, women carry most of the unpaid workload. This unpaid work is of huge importance to our society and economy. It is one of the pillars that our economy is built upon. If women were to stop working, even if it was just the unpaid work, the entire economy would collapse. Pretending women or women's work is not important or less important than the work men do is foolish and not true. Women are the people behind the curtains who keep the show going, whether you acknowledge them or not. I guess it's true when they say that this is a man's world, but it is also absolutely true when they say that it is nothing without a girl.
Absolutely. Your screen's dark. Can you hear me? Are you here? I knew it.
I am, but I'm gonna have to adjust my sound.
I knew it. I told you. I called this. Moving forward, real quick, we just have that was a little. What is that? Oh, am I reverberating in the background? I am. Let's see if muting you helps. Okay, we're gonna mute her. I can't listen to myself sound like a troll in the background. You might have to there you go. Okay, so while she's doing that, I'm going to tell you about a person named I have a couple of stories here, but this one is about a gentleman named Blind Boone. So let me open that up. Sorry, I'm just tripping over my words right now. Let me see if I can share this here.
Okay, well,
that was the weirdest. Oh, okay. That was the weirdest thing. I was like, what is happening? What is that sound? It's me.
Yeah, you're you were in slow motion I don't even know.
Okay, so Blind Boone. I'm telling this story because this is actually geographically relevant also for our guest as well. So Blind Boone was born in 1864 during the Civil War in Miami, Missouri. So Miami. Not Miami. Okay, so Miami, Missouri. I'm probably not being funny, but whatever. His mother, Rachel, was, we did our trigger warning, but also trigger warning on this story because it's a little, okay. So his mother, Rachel, was a contraband slave and confiscated from Confederate forces, and she worked at the Union camp. His father was William S. Belcher, a 19-year-old soldier who served in the company as a bugler. Shortly after giving birth, Rachel moved with her son, John William Boone, to Warrensburg, Missouri. When he was just 6 months old, he developed a severe brain infection. And here it is. And in order to reduce the swelling in his brain, doctors had to surgically remove his eyes and sew them shut. I was disturbed by that. But it was in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
So...
yeah, they were just not, there was no like, we're going to figure this out to cure your eyes. No, it was no.
Yeah, right. It was just, we can't relieve the pressure in your brain any other way. This is it. So in her biography, Blind Boone, Melissa Fuel, principal singer for the Blind Boone Concert Company, wrote, his talent for music was discovered as soon as he could sit alone. He would sit on a stone hearth and play tunes with two sticks. His first instrument was a tin whistle with which he could play any ordinary tune after hearing it once. Next, he was presented with a mouth organ. That's one of those like dong dong, right? Things. That's what I'm imagining in my head. I don't know. With which he charmed the whole neighborhood. Children from far and near came to hear him. He soon became a favorite to all. As a young boy, he was sent to St. Louis to attend the school for the blind to learn the trade of making broomsticks. So that sounds fascinating. This was until once Fuel wrote this in her biography. I'm not going to keep repeating that. But once hearing a pupil of the institution practicing on the piano, he quit his work and stole up to the piano, and nothing could prevent his hands from going to the keys. He was able to figure out several pieces, and it was impossible to keep his mind on anything else. And then these are just a couple of pictures of him. This is with his wife, and then this is with his manager, John Lang. He was dismissed from the school, and he wandered around St. Louis making a living playing the mouth organ and other such instruments as he could get his hands on. After enduring several hardships, he took a train back to his mother in Warrensburg, and it was there that John Lang Jr. of Columbia, Missouri, discovered Boone. Fuel wrote that John Lang took a liking to Boone and carried him to Sunday school to play for the children. After inviting Boone to play for a Christmas concert to benefit Second Baptist Church, Lang Jr. made a contract with Boone's mother to educate Boone in music and put him on the road. Lang Jr. became Boone's first manager, and under his guidance, Boone's career soared. Before long, Boone became family when he married Lang's youngest sister, Eugenia. And that's him and Eugenia right there. So,
okay, the sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
And so there's like, I want to say there's like a house, where he maybe grew up or spent time in his life, in St. Louis, Missouri. So if you're in St. Louis, you can kind of look that up and go check that out and learn a little bit of history there. Sounds pretty cool. I was reading that today and I was like, oh, okay. So we'll save the rest for Monday. We'll save the rest of that for Monday, because I do want to bring our guest in. Today we have Deb Nash. She runs the Canna Answers page, and she has answers for your questions. So if you do have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section, and we will do our best, the three of us, just to get you the best answer for that. So welcome, Deb Nash. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I want to give a shout out to Jen. She is the one who recommended you. She was like, you should have her on the show. And I was like, absolutely. Let me look. And so super excited. Yeah.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your background.
So I work for Progressive Osteopathic Therapy. So that's a medical clinic that does medical cannabis cards. And so I'm one of the first patients in the state of Missouri. So I've done this literally since the first day we did medical cards. I applied, and then I started helping other people. And now I work for the doctor full time. And we do most of our business telehealth. So I sit at home in my home office here, and we help patients all over the state. And then I also own Canna Answers, because since we've become a recreational state, there's some things that I don't need a doctor for, as much as I love Deb Nash. So I also help consumers who want to apply for a consumer cultivation permit to grow. And I'm also doing some like micro licensing consults and things for people who are interested in applying that way in the future.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. So I had a question and then I lost. Oh, I was going to say, it wasn't a question, but you said that you do telehealth. And I was like, I can already feel MJ's over there on fire right now, because as soon as they called like end of pandemic, which it's not over, by the way, people still get it. But once they called it and said you can go back out in public again, our telehealth ended.
Yeah,
shortly thereafter.
Oh, yeah, we can still do medical marijuana cards, telehealth. So that's what we do every day.
Awesome.
It's a better way to do it. First of all, people are hella busy.
And you're sick, and I'm sorry, it's not just COVID. You still have like the flu, RSV.
Yeah,
cancer patients. Do you really want to go into a doctor's office with other sick patients?
No.
Yeah. It's been a battle, and they even tried to, it even went up for a vote right after the emergency order ended, and they voted against it.
So crazy.
And it's just, again, it's frustrating, especially with lack of doctors around, in some of our areas. It does make, patients have to travel hours sometimes to get to a doctor. And that's, again, when you're talking about people that are in pain or are dealing with illnesses that you shouldn't be traveling hours to go to a doctor's appointment. Why? And so Colorado, you do better.
not to mention, and this is a problem on different levels and different places, but the lack of mobility. Are they able to get? Are they able to get to the doctor's office? Do they have a car? Do they have transportation? Are they able to get to how many miles away? When we talk about in Colorado, she works, I have to point the opposite direction. She works in the mountains. So like it could take 45 minutes plus to get to the doctor to get your card. And they're not coming to your area. You got to go into this like neutral space, right?
We started like that because I've been here since day one. So it was the same thing. We had traveling pop-up clinics that would go to a hotel or go to a grow shop. And because we can't offer cards inside a dispensary. Yeah. So that took all of them businesses out, but we could do grow shops, hotels, things like that. So we used to travel, and we still do. We still do events to do medical cards. I'll be at an event here in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Really awesome. Colorado needs to do better, honestly, on that end.
And what's other interesting, like you guys can get medical marijuana cards in Missouri. Anybody living in any
did you guys pass a reciprocity law with this new amendment?
You don't have to prove residency anymore. They removed that all out of the old law. So I have people from all over. So we live right near Kansas. So it's rec. So it doesn't really matter anymore. But we still have people who do want the medical card protections. So I do like Oklahoma and Kansas patients all day long to come here and get medical cards. Well, you still can't bring it back to their states legal. You guys know that.
Not my ass making an appointment from Colorado.
So, but we do have people, and we have 3-year cards. And honestly, it's because when you get here, you pay less taxes and you can purchase and possess more. So people who come here who want to like actually make purchases or possess.
Yeah.
It
works.
She's like, listen to all of these loopholes. I love
yeah,
it.
believe that's exactly what I do.
I love it. I love it.
Guess medical patient or medical card person that I like don't go to the dispensaries in Missouri. So it's a really weird position to be in, but I'm the one who gives all the loopholes, all the caregiver laws,
right?
All that kind of
So
thing.
how do you feel about Amendment 3? What is your opinion? Be honest. We're honest around here.
I was totally against it. That's not a secret to anybody. I mean, I was very public about that.
You said was.
I still am, but it's over. And so we have to move forward. It's already law. It's already in our Constitution. We changed our Constitution, remember?
Yes.
So we can't fix what's wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that are wrong. And some people are starting to figure that out. What we were all here saying, hey, wait, I fought with DHS enough to get some of what was bad that they tried to change reversed. Like I couldn't cultivate for a while because I own Canna Answers. And that's could be defined at a place of business. And they wrote no cultivation at a place of business. But they've now clarified home businesses can still.
Yeah, bring it down, Missouri.
Three months to them to do that in writing. 3 months.
Oh my Atlanta.
I mean, that's unacceptable because it's not just for me. Honestly, I had a plan B that I could have done anytime I wanted, but I fight for the person who can't fight because whatever situation in their life stops them, I'll take that risk and fight for them publicly.
Exactly that. Plus, like, people are not, we say this every day, but if anybody using cannabis is using cannabis for wellness, I don't care what y'all say. What's up, Luke? I don't care what y'all say. If you go home after a long day and pop open Coors Light, right? And you just sit and you de-stress. Well, some people go home after a long day and light up a blunt. That's me. And that's like a lot of the people that I hang out with. And that is called stress relief. And stress relief is wellness.
Yep. Stress
relief is wellness. So even when you don't realize the benefits beyond, feeling a little stony, these are the benefits. Is it the feeling a little stony and euphoric is a stress reliever. And even the cannabis plant knows that, because when that cannabis plant is stressed out, you know what happens? The THC goes up, up, up. So, I mean, you don't want to stress it out too much because it could also kill your plant. But I'm just saying, like, good stress is not a bad thing. You can increase your cannabinoids that way. But anyway, so that I'm glad that they didn't keep that, because that's kind of bullshit. You got people that are growing for themselves or for other people, but also like running a business. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's everything. Like every farmer is a business. Every Tupperware mom. I mean, come on here. Like,
and who's to say, like, you could get your caregiver's license and also be like in the business of caregiving, because like that doesn't, like, okay, everybody, when you sign up to be a caregiver, that doesn't mean even if you offer the product at like no cost, you still have to collect for like the cost of doing business. It's not a cheap or free endeavor. Okay. No. So like some caregivers charge a little bit for their caregivers are not supposed to charge for the flower and as a definition.
They can't
to make a profit. But
they can't charge for the product, but
they can charge for the service and getting to the end product. So, if you're growing in dirt, you have to buy your soil, or you have to create your soil, you have to get your nutrients, you have to pay your water bill, you got to blah, 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 blah. Right. And so those things we can charge for as caregivers. It's just not to make a profit, but also wouldn't it be a smart idea to have it as a business so that you can like write your taxes off and everything with that as well, so that you can offer these things at a better
you want
price.
To take off everything you legally can.
Yes.
that's exactly. Definitely thing. And you want to keep good records.
Yeah.
To protect yourself. And I always say, have a contract. Well, the enforceability may or may not actually be enforceable in a court of law. It does put you on the same page as your caregiver.
At least, there's a record of an agreement.
Well, and if nothing else, it's forced you to have that conversation, hopefully, with your caregiver about how this is all going to work so that you limit all those disagreements.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, just think about things in this way because everything I do is a business now. Like I work for myself almost, not quite, but almost exclusively. And I'm getting there. We're getting there. But if you're a caregiver and you're buying these things, these gardening expenses, you know, keep your receipts, write that shit off and put it through your business because the taxes are less than. Anyways, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm also not an accountant, but these are things that I've like kind of learned along the way.
You just got to be careful with cannabis. My job before I did this, the reason I ended up bored on social media helping people was actually running for tax businesses as a general manager.
Yeah.
But cannabis has special rules. So
yes,
you have
it
to
does.
be very careful.
Yes.
So
yeah. Especially if you're doing any hands-on things, there are certain things you can absolutely not write off.
And that stuff changes year to year. And I haven't been updating myself because I'm so focused on the medical marijuana rules and regulations and not the tax laws type thing doing people's taxes anymore.
Let me tell you, if you're touching the plant in any way, shape, or form, that stuff is not write-offable, and also they're going to check for it whether or not you're regulated. And
I had trouble getting a checking account, and I literally don't offer any product at all of any type, way, shape, or form. I literally only offer a service online virtually.
That's the same with my.
Is it
my
because Canna in your name?
Anything cannabis related, CBD related, anything, they flag you, and even if you get the checking account open, they'll just close you like 3 days later.
They will.
So
they will.
I had to jump through hoops to get it open.
I went to a bank that actually allows it, and I had to jump through hoops for my education company, where I don't offer any product at all. There's no product through that company.
No product
I'm the service.
I go online and I fill out a job application. Essentially, it's not, but.
And they were Canna friendly, but they were like really like, it was not easy to open that bank account.
Yeah.
And then when we then we have a product too, which is hemp. And we had to, oh my God, I think we still don't have everything, but it's whatever.
It's just my card. Our bank account exists. It's just my card.
Yeah. The bank account exists, but we haven't gotten your bank card. It took months to get the bank cards. It was a crazy ordeal.
They make you jump through hoops.
And it took months to open the accounts, actually.
Yeah.
Give
them more money. To give them more money.
I was like, what is happening here?
And I don't feel like it's ever safe, because at any time, if they change their mind, right? Like that's how I always feel. Like, is it really safe?
Yeah, no, it is not. No, it is not.
I know people who've had money in, virtual things, my PayPal got shut down or my Square got shut down type thing.
What country is it that's having the banking crisis right now? We are not far. First of all, we've had a banking crisis in this country before. Okay. And second of all, we're not far from this situation that's happening. I can't remember where it's at. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, hit the comment section about it. But basically, they're holding up the bank to get their own money out. Like, give me my money right now.
I've heard that happened in the past year or so.
Yeah, no, it's happening right now. I just don't know what country it's in off the top.
Maybe Venezuela or something. Is it South America?
It was
some
like
issues down there before financially.
It was like I have to think about it, and maybe I'll find the video. But it's crazy. They're blowing them up. They're setting them up. If you're not gonna give me my money, guess what? And it's like riots happening. And
makes you wonder.
And think about how many times the banks have been bailed out in the United States. And like what? And they can do that. They can do that. They can hold your money.
As I said, I've heard it happen so much. I'm like, I don't trust it there. Like,
yeah. So
just waiting for
scary.
That email, waiting for that phone call, waiting for that letter in the mail.
What's even scarier is because, listen, check it out. Cannabis not federally legal. So at the flip of a switch, they can be like, that's my money because you laundered that money in my bank and you're also under arrest. Like,
I know, it's so scary.
So it's not like, I know we all live this life like it's all fine and good, like we're smoking and we're joking around and everything, but like literally these things are still kind of happening in the background. And until they pass like the Safe Banking Act, until they pass laws federally on cannabis, until, God, you know what I hate the most is that, like, we have a CBD oil that's made from cannabis that has been given a Schedule 5 listing, but only through Big Pharma. Only through Big Pharma. We can't get that. We're still Schedule 1. Same plant.
Yep.
Same plant.
See, I'm honestly
same oil.
Want federal legalization because it sounds great. I'm afraid of federal legalization.
No, absolutely.
Because of, I'm afraid, like, like I have a high dose card in Missouri, so 6 ounces is our minimum, but you can get any amount. So
but also
I'm afraid I lose type things like that.
Like, but also, they could do something like, this is how you're going to get legal cannabis, and then give you like this crap,
or 12 different things, and that's it.
Right. And then
for state
like,
rights to
or like,
our state rights.
We can't grow our own anymore.
Right. So they could do things like that. We would have to vote against it in that case. We would have to like vote against it and rally up and just maintain our state's legalization policies. But this is how we felt about Missouri, and we feel this way about a lot of other states. Honestly, we just highlight you guys because, you know, y'all are fans and we are too.
We talk a lot too.
But like when Amendment 3 was coming up, we were like, I don't know if y'all know what you're.
We could have done better. I think.
Yes, you could have done way better.
It has good points. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Some good things, but some of what we were sold.
Right.
Well, not me, but some of what other people thought they voted on wasn't what is actually turned out to happen so far now.
I think our biggest problem with Amendment 3 was the micro licensing.
Yep. They're designed to fail.
They are. They really are.
As I said, I'm doing consults, but literally before I'll even do a consult, I tell you that before I'll even charge you anything.
Yeah.
Because that is my honest opinion. However, we don't have much options in Missouri.
Right, because this is what is voted on, and this is what's in the Constitution. Right, exactly. So we were worried. So like that's my worry on a federal level. Is it something crazy? You know, like it's just not good law. I mean,
we're gonna go backwards, not forward for some of us.
Overall, the chatter around that, they're saying, you know, let the states decide how they want this program to run. Overall, that's the chatter around it, you know, but that it, you know, it's not a federal offense to, you know, or whatever. So we'll see what happens.
We have a special little line in our Constitution now that doesn't let the individual import from other states.
Yeah, this was also a problem for us. So if you're a business, you can fucking ship that shit in and out all you want to.
They've already done it and sued each other about it. Illegal.
But if you're a regular ass person just hanging out with an ounce, taking it across the border, fuck you. You can't do it. Even if we have import-export laws that allow it. Right. We do not, by the way, have that. We do not have that right now. Just by the way, for everybody, I just want to be clear.
Oh, believe me, we preach about this all the time because Oklahoma, you know, we can use Missouri cards to get temporary Oklahoma cards, and Oklahoma prices compared to Missouri prices are night and day. And
in a good way or a bad way?
Oh, I love Oklahoma.
We love Oklahoma.
How long will that
I love Oklahoma. I love Sooner Glue. I'm brought to you by Sooner Glue.
Yeah, she's doing advertisements.
No, literally, like I don't. They're not my sponsor, but that's all. Like I love them. That's where I shop.
Yeah, nice.
in Missouri, RSO, the cheapest place I've ever seen it is near Kansas City, and it's $27 a gram plus taxes. If you drive to Oklahoma, and yes, it's a card for 30 days, which was ridiculous, but it's $5 to $6 a gram. If you're a cancer patient, I can tell you where to get it for $3. Whoa. And that's out the door. Wow. And I can get it for $150 an ounce in Oklahoma. But I'm supposed to tell the cancer patient that it's $27 a gram in Missouri, plus taxes.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. That, I mean...
So that little sentence there about not being able to import once we can federally can, that's huge to a lot of us who are stuck with Missouri prices legally, knowing that right across the border in Oklahoma, it's so cheap.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're trying to prevent, for sure. Yeah. They're trying to prevent you taking the revenue out of the state. But here's the thing.
And also bring prices here, and I'd be glad to buy here, but we don't have the same laws as Oklahoma.
Right. And I think, sometimes I think, I just get hung up because
Oklahoma's the wild, wild west. Kansas is like, don't even touch
absolutely
CBD.
The fuck not.
And right? Then we have Missouri here that's rec, and then Oklahoma votes in what, like 2 weeks for rec, 3 weeks for rec?
I always feel like rec wrecks everything.
Yes.
To be honest.
I mean, Oklahoma is already just crazy compared to Missouri.
Right.
And then you have Kansas, and it's just like, everyone's like, what do we do in Kansas here?
Nothing. They're driving to other states. The people that want it, they're driving to the other states and doing
exactly what they're getting busted and then paying the penalties, and we're gonna have to wait to get them expunged in 5 years or 10 years, and they want it there so bad.
It's bad. I mean, it's going in that thought of just like, again, it's creating money for the system,
right?
Yep. That we're in a legal state.
Yep. I just want affordable meds. It's not enough to have access to me. The sickest patients need to be able to afford it in therapeutic quantities. It's not just enough to say, yes, you can legally buy it.
Right. It needs to be,
affordable. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the reason it's not affordable, but that's the thing. It's not even a little, I don't want to, there's some greedy people out there.
Yeah,
we can agree to that, but I don't also want to just blame it on greed, because the laws that we have to follow cost money to follow them.
Yep.
Like,
and the limited
thousands and thousands and thousands and millions, sometimes dollars. Like,
they act like it's nuclear waste instead of a plant. And if we would write laws to protect a plant, we could probably bring down the cost of the medicine.
Right. So you can still profit, and these sick patients can still afford it, and everybody's but they won't do that. They tax the shit out of us. They when they're doing licensing, they like nickel and dime. Every little thing costs money.
And they make if you accidentally protect nobody.
If you on paper, okay, listen, on paper, if you say you've turned in your plans, okay, and it's all on paper, and you're not knocking no walls down or anything, it's just on paper, and you're like, you really rethinking things when you're in the just kind of seeing your space and like learning it, and you're like, you know what, that room should actually be close up there, so I want to change that. I want to take that, what we were going to do in this space, and just move it into that space. We're not going to knock down any walls. We're not going to change any structures or anything. $2,000 minimum. $2,000 minimum. Just to like, can you just erase that and put that over there and that over there?
Yeah, they make it stupid. Like, if we'd stop having to jump through hoops for everything.
And then every time, I used to go to a lot of the city council meetings in Durango when I worked behind the counter. I would always know when they were, and I would let the staff stay clocked in to go to contribute or to learn something, whatever, figure out what's going on. So because we were medical, so I was like, we need to be able to talk to our patients about what's going on. Yep. Every time that they would have to like do a tax increase, to save the city because we need to. They will always come to us. They will always come to us. I can't, me and others, I can't tell you how many times we stood there and was like, why, if you're going to do a tax for the city because we need to generate revenue, whatever, then tax all of the businesses and we'll partake in that. Okay. Yeah. But like, don't just put the whole thing on us. If you taxed all the businesses, you could tax less percentage and then this would be doable. But then you would just like, here's 27%.
And then how about the taxes actually go towards something for our communities and not just into, the headlines of billions of dollars and millions.
Okay,
of
no.
All the money collected in Missouri is still fighting lawsuits.
Okay, so the other day, I don't know if I'll have to see if I can find the article. The other day I was reading an article that this is where this is how much money Colorado made in 2022. And this is where the money went. And then there was this large sum of money that went to where? Where do you think it went?
General fund.
The general fucking fund. What the fuck?
And then
is the general fucking fund? Yeah. How are you taking that much money and not telling me exactly what you're doing with it?
Yeah, it would be one thing if it was, $20 or something like.
Yeah.
But if they're talking a huge percentage.
$2,000 went into the general fund. Okay, I don't give a fuck about that $2,000.
No, that's a lot.
It's not a lot when you're talking about like $4 billion, right? Okay. So I'm like, oh, you generated, you put new roads, you got school books for the kids, you got whatever, you put that money into these spaces where we're like, yeah, that's where, if we're going to pay these taxes, we want a beautiful Colorado. And then I'm driving in potholes right now because that's not what's happening. $2,000 is not what's left over after everything's been accounted for. It's like in the 30,000 or some shit like that. Like, what the fuck are you doing with 30 grand in your general fund? So, hey, if anybody wants to come answer that question, I will not be nearly as aggressive when I ask it. Okay. I would
stop lying.
Really.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, I'm just curious, like, why doesn't more of the money go towards making sure that I'm not driving in potholes in my brand new fucking car? You know what I'm saying? Making sure I don't have kids, but I want the kids that are here to have a good education and safe social programs like after school program, whatever the fuck. I want that because that's important to society.
There's a park in the middle of nowhere out in Bond, Colorado, where they built like a park. I mean, it's not anything to write home about, but there is like a little plaque that says like brought to you or made, created with funds of the, medical cannabis or whatever the cannabis tax. But, but I'm like looking, and again, it's in the middle of nowhere where no one, you pass by it. Like I pass by it.
It's just oh, look what we did.
Use it as a safety meeting spot. And then, I happened to walk around it, but it was like, grown over with weeds. No one's maintaining it. Like, special.
No, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Do something better with it. I mean, I can't, because I'm on the road a lot. I'm real mad about the potholes. I'm not even lying. I got a slow leak in the back left tire, and I don't like hitting potholes. Like, because it's wintertime. It's wintertime. I don't think it's a major thing.
It's 66 degrees here today. So.
It's what?
66 degrees here. You sure you didn't want to come here and record?
I'm thinking about it.
That's good to know. Like,
that's good to know. Thank you for the update.
Our weather's not coming your way.
It was raining earlier, and I heard Wisconsin's supposed to get it, which is where I'm from. But no, it's like 66 right now. It's been beautiful.
That's good to know. Thank you for the update. I needed that. Thank you. So what was you got me thrown off. Oh, I was saying, I drive around a lot. I'm always on the road. And what I notice most is that the roads are shit. the roads are shit, and it makes me mad. And I was talking about my slowly because it's wintertime. You know, when in the wintertime you get the low tire pressure.
Yep.
Me.
Every time you get in my truck.
Yeah, like me and my low tire pressure against the world. That's what it is.
Yep.
So
ours are just like super sensitive. My husband will be like, they are perfect. I just checked them, and like a day later, like
yeah, exactly.
Like 1 pound too low. You know,
right.
Trip it.
So I'll probably have to, check on that soon. Actually, I haven't had to fill it up in a while now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, the laws that we vote into our Constitution really have to be carefully
perfect or
carefully crafted.
They weren't.
and these, I think, like your micro business clause is like a fucking slap in the face to the communities it was supposed to like help get into, the like make the cannabis industry accessible to those individuals.
Original licenses won't even be issued till 2025.
It's just,
and we only get like 144 to begin with.
Right. And
we have another presidential election before then. What's going to be on that ballot?
And all the money that has to be put into it for those 2 years that you can't profit off of.
Right. Even before they even get a license, we'll have a presidential election that could potentially change our Constitution again.
Yeah.
Meaning they're never even issued.
I'm going to tell you, Missouri, just be careful, but just buy it from your underground guy, because like literally do not put money into these corporations.
I didn't make a purchase, I don't think, last year at a Missouri dispensary.
Just don't do it. Just don't
protect your underground rights. You got
you know what? I had an amazing caregiver. We have our home cultivation rights.
Your caregiver or your underground guy, gal, whatever, is growing way better fucking cannabis than cookies. Okay, I don't give a fuck what they say. I don't believe it. Listen, just get it from, and they got probably better variety because they got the connections.
They'll pick out the right caregiver will find the perfect thing for you and process it the perfect way for you. If you can't just smoke, because while smoking is what most people just do, some patients can't.
Exactly. Right. And so, you know what I love about this is one of the things I was not expecting from Missouri. The first time I came out there was for a conference, and was it the first time? It's not the first time I was ever there, but like as far as like building in the community in St. Louis, and also a little bit in Kansas City. The first time I came out there was I was at the MoCan. Okay. And I was there with another group. They had invited me to come along so that I could promote my business, etc. I met so many wonderful people, and I just kind of watched how things unfolded there, because it was brand new. It was brand new, and so I was just kind of like watching how things were unfolding and the different advocacy groups and how they were working together, and some of them weren't, and blah blah blah. But one of the things is that at our Airbnb, there was never a shortage of anything. The people in Missouri, you got like green thumbs. I'm just saying, we always had some of the best cannabis I've ever smoked. We had some of the best concentrates I've ever used. And also some edibles as well. So that was like in medical world, right? And these were caregivers and people that, grew and baked and did all these things. It was so amazing. I met so many wonderful people that I'm still in contact with, and we invite them on every once in a while to see how things are going, see what new businesses, because it's a lot of like entrepreneurs like yourself.
Yeah. I mean, some of the first people I met are still like, one of the first people I met is now one of my sponsors. I mean, even though it was 3 years ago and, 3 clinics ago, it's still the same core group of people. A lot of us have been here watching us and trying to build this community.
Right. Yeah. And I just love it. So I love the hustle out there. Really. It's kind of my favorite. And I love how everybody was like, oh, okay, we got it. And everybody just like came in with their stuff. I was like, wow, this is impressive. I didn't think Missouri was going to, I mean, you expect that in like
Colorado
West
and
Coast,
West, but yeah,
Colorado. Right. But you guys are the Midwest, like you guys are Missouri. And I was like, no, I'm impressed.
There's still like, you still have those people in town that, stare at you with those stigmas.
Oh, don't I know it?
Background, but also a lot of places have been very opening and very.
We got kicked all the way out of a hotel.
I went around trying to find a hotel venue to do a patient drive, and just me asking to do a patient drive was enough to be out. Like, yes.
They called the cops on us. It is 4:20 on the West Coast.
I had a clinic where they called the cops on us. The cop, didn't approach, like they ended up talking to the hotel that we were working out of, and they're like, no, they're like didn't even bother. But someone at the hotel that we were holding our clinic at called the cops, and so the cops came out and yeah.
We didn't get kicked out for that. That's not why we got kicked out. According to them, they like gave us attitude from the second we walked through the door.
Oh, that place. Yeah.
It was one in Oklahoma. We didn't even get checked in before we ended up checking out and going.
We got attitude. I was wearing, I
had a normal shirt on.
I had on pants with like cannabis leaves all over it. So I was just like, I was dressed for comfort, but also style. And we checked in and everything was fine. We get to the room and there's trash in our room, and it's like food trash. It's not like regular trash. It's like, it's gross. We don't even want to touch it. So
because
we were like, hey,
it was
can somebody come get this? Can somebody come get this? And because it was like still a little COVID-y, they were like, we have like one person in housekeeping. Also because corporations don't pay their employees enough. But so they had one person on housekeeping, and that was it. And I was like, well, can you send the manager? Like the manager can come get this. It does not have to be your housekeeper. You could like actually do your job, manager.
Somebody else can pick up garbage too.
Yes, come get it. Come get it. You work here.
And it's not so hard to ask, being that we just checked in.
Like we just checked in. It was like 4 a.m.
Our heads not even hit the pillow.
Right. You just checked in. It wasn't like you've been there for 4 days.
They also, we like asked and then asked again about where we should park, because there was no parking spaces and we had like a van, and they told us where to park. And we were like, listen, we don't want to be woken up at like 7 a.m. because we have to move with this van. And they were like, no, it's fine. You're fine there. Wouldn't you know it? 7 a.m. on the button. They are banging on our door and our phone is ringing. They're screaming at us to move the car. And I was like, I'm heated. I'm like, this is it. Call Keith Morrison. I'm about to do it. So then, so we moved it. There was parking spaces at that point. We moved it or whatever, but they still would not come get the trash. And they started arguments with us. And then they called the cops on us to kick us out.
So we get a knock on the door, and when we look out the peephole, and it's an actual person to come
it's the
collect
housekeeper.
The housekeeping.
Yeah.
And so we open the door, and right behind her are 3 officers.
Sneaky bitches.
Oh, so now they can come collect the garbage, huh?
I was like, no, they still did not take the garbage.
I know, but they sent the police officer.
They sent her to the room as a decoy, and then
exactly, but that's what I'm saying.
Let her come get the trash.
Like, you probably think, now they're coming to garbage, and
like literally, we could have handled this in a real nice way. Come get the trash, and we won't even say no. You won't even hear a peep out of us at all, ever.
We're here to sleep. and
like
leave.
literally. That's all we
All
wanted
we wanted to
to
do.
It's 4 a.m. What else are you? I mean, that's what most people are going to do is go.
We have been
trash,
driving
right?
for 12 hours or more. I don't
My
even
husband's
know.
a truck driver. I used to go with him. So yeah.
We were exhausted. And so we were just like, we just want to sleep right now. That's all we give a shit about. Because it was more because it was supposed to be 12 hours, which is the normal trip. But it ends up being like, I think like 16 or something like that, because we're driving this fucking van. And it is not going more than like, if it goes 75, it's making a weird fucking noise.
So you're driving 55 instead of 75.
Oh man. And it was windy in some spots, and the van was empty on the way up, or the way over, I should say. But yeah, so we got kicked out of that place, and then we ended up holla at the Hiltons because we ended up going to a Hilton, and they were like, welcome. They were like open arms, and it was like, but we were on 3 hours of sleep, and I was like, please don't bother us at all. We don't care about
So Doc's clinic where I work is 160 miles away from my house. So when I was working there physically in the clinic for a couple days a week, I was staying in a Hilton.
Yeah.
A couple days a week.
Yep.
I think Hiltons at least hold themselves accountable when they fuck up.
I never had a problem, and I'm a patient. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no, I've never had a problem either.
We held our clinics at several Hilton locations, and they always housed us, and are always just.
I mean, there's no way they missed every single T-shirt I wore every single day.
No. We had I did classes at Hilton's.
Yeah. They were always
we were in our
friendly and welcoming, and I mean,
we had whole classes with like banners that look like the one that's behind you, and like, this is what we're teaching about. We walked in smelling like, looking like.
I worked at the dispensary, and the clinic's next to the dispensary, so it still smells. So it's, that's what like. So when I'm walking into the hotel at the end of the day,
that's
even if I wasn't medicated, I would smell like.
They would be like, in the Hilton though, they would be like, you smell good.
Yeah, they're like, as long as you're out,
I know.
Like, don't do it in our rooms, but we don't care.
Yeah, they don't give a. They don't give any fucks.
I stay in the same one week after week, and never once had anybody say a word to me.
That's your free ad, Hilton. Sponsor us. Holla.
I only knew because I had friends that ran one of their locations, and he would tell me like everything that was kind of said anytime things circulated. He's like, someone came in and was like, it smells like, and he's like, because we are legal, y'all, and that's why people.
We literally live in Colorado.
My room. He's like, my parking lot can smell like weed all it wants to. Like, it does not matter. And
no fucks.
Because it's just like, but I have to deal with cigarette smokers invading my airspace, like, and stinky people.
Some of those
so why your smell, what you love to smell like, may be different from mine. I have to.
Don't fucking talk to me, Brad, with your donut box. Smelling like a sweet treat. I can't stand it. At all. So holler at the Hilton, and what was that place that we got kicked out of? It was a Marriott.
It was a Marriott. It was not. It was like. Yeah, it was.
Y'all can suck it. Horrible.
Hiltons.
Horrible experience.
Hilton honors all the way, baby.
Yeah. So as far as Missouri goes, the new laws are kind of hit or miss in some spaces, but did they like improve anything in the medical side?
Some things improved. We went from 1-year cards to 3-year cards. So that was a huge improvement. They dropped the fee to cultivate in half. So it's $50 as a med cultivator for 3 years. And it used to be like $100 for 1 year.
Yeah. Okay.
But consumers to cultivate is $100 for 1 year. So people are confused because they don't understand
medical versus.
Is it supposed to be the other way around?
So really want me to blow your mind? As a consumer, you can buy 3 ounces per transaction. But as a medical patient, if you just see one doctor and you don't ask any questions, they're just going to write 6 ounces a month per 30-day rolling period. But if you're a consumer, you can buy 3 ounces per transaction.
So like
anytime you want.
Is it per day? Is it like
not even per day. You could leave the parking lot and come back.
Oh, they're gonna. Okay, I just want to say, thanks, Sheila. I just want to say about that part. That's not how that's gonna last. That's gonna be considered what we call looping.
Yeah. And, so they wrote it that the dispensaries have to report you. We'll see how many dispensaries.
Yeah.
But in Oklahoma, they've done it for.
But what they do, but the thing that they're gonna do, which is what they did in Colorado, they sent people in. And then they would like make friends with the dispensary agents and cool. And then I'll be back. And then come back and get another ounce and then come back. And so they would do it, and they would do it over a 6-month period. So there's no like, this was a mistake. This is 6-month period, common practice within the facility kind of situation. And then those people went to the owners. First of all, everything got shut down in a particular store that I'm thinking about right now. Everything got shut down, like over 20 stores. People got arrested on the immediate. It was like a whole raid situation.
That's what I keep telling people: get a med card and get a high dose card to protect yourself.
So yeah, I was gonna say, if that is what you're doing in your dispensary, just be careful and beware.
I tried to tell patients that if how they wrote it, and I saw the email to the dispensaries from our Department of Health and Senior Services / Department of Cannabis Regulation. And it flat out said, if you believe as a dispensary, they're possessing more than 3 ounces, which is our consumer limit here, they have to be reported. So most dispensaries are saying, oh, just leave the parking lot and come back. Well, that maybe works the first time. But how many times are they going to do that in a day?
I mean, as many times as makes them money, because it's not about anything
else. They're going to keep doing it, and then they're going to go to the dispensary down the street.
And then they're going to export it into states that don't have legalization right now.
Yeah. Well, like, Kansas next door. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or they're going to sell it to the people who don't want to make the trip to the dispensary. Or whatever the case may be, they're going to take it home to Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but
I mean, mess, but it is what it is. I'm still telling people, get a med card, pay less taxes. They're trying to double stack taxes now.
Yeah,
in some areas on top of just the increase.
Of course they are.
Yeah. So best part is just to get a med card and protect yourself as much as you can.
As much as you can.
Yep.
Have something.
Every layer of protection when you're dealing with something that's still federally illegal.
Can I tell you, my med card saved me one time? I had lost my ID and I had a full on panic attack in the airport. I was done. Like so I lost my ID. I had just had it. And then I went on the little transport that brought me there, and it wasn't on the transport. I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to miss my plane. Like, life is destroyed. This looks like a strong exterior. Inside, things are very fragile. It's like, bing. So anyway, so I get up to the counter and I go, after I like brought it together, I bring it together and I get up to the counter. And I go, what do I do? And this was in Arizona. This was pre-Nugget days too. So it was like this situation where I was just like literally in like a PTSD panic attack. So I kind of get to my senses a little bit, and I'm like kind of pulling it together, and I'm like, what do I do? And she says, do you have a medical card or anything like that? Because she was like, do you have anything with your picture on it? And I said, no, I don't have anything. And I think she saw it. She saw the medical card. She's like, do you have a medical card? I go, yeah, but it's not from this state. Like, it's from Colorado. And she goes, let me see it. And I show it to her, and she lets me through the fucking gate. Are amazing. You lying to me right now? No, I'm not lying to you right now. I'm telling you.
Great.
It worked.
I mean, nobody cares you're from a rec state if you're traveling.
Yeah. like it was crazy. It was super crazy. It was a while ago, because I've had Nugget for, gosh, like 6-7 years now. So it was quite a while ago. It was pre-traveling with him days. And it was just, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to get on this plane or get my ID right now. I'm like trying to figure out how I'm going to get it mailed to me. Where am I going to, like, what am I going to do? And then she says, do you have your medical card? And I was like, oh my God, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's an ID as far as like having.
It's a government issued ID if you think about it.
But it doesn't have my picture.
Process. Right.
Our Missouri ones don't, but the Oklahoma ones do. Our Missouri
Colorado does not. The old one, and it was in the card days. It was in the these days.
Printed ourselves.
The red card days, the
red card days
certificate.
She saw that red card in my wallet, and she said, do you have your medical card? And I said, it's from Colorado. And she said, I just need to see that it has your name on it. And I pulled it out, and she looked at it, and she, like, I think maybe had me confirm my address or something. She gave it back to me, and she was like, have a good day. And I was like, my God, you just saved my whole life. I thought I was going to war right now. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. You know, my brain was like, we're saddle up. Shit's about to get, and then no, it was fine. We got through it. So I think my protectors too. Yes.
We have a question here from Sheila. Does a higher dose cost more than our regular? Like, we used to have 2 certifications. I know we don't anymore. So I'm wondering if it's the same as the doc visit, or if there's other fees to get more than our 6 ounces as a Missouri patient.
If you come to our clinic, we don't charge more for a high dose if you do it at your new patient or your renewal card through Canna Answers. And there's no additional fees with the state to get a high dose card.
So
if
crazy.
you want to update, like in the middle of your card period, like, you know, you're 6 months into your card period and just need more, then we do charge, because it's another visit. So you're charging for the doctor's visit, but then that's just a free patient update, Sheila.
I think it's absolutely despicable, doctors, that you're charging more money for higher plant count. Like,
so we don't even get more plant count. We just get more purchase and possession limits.
Yeah.
But, you know, we don't charge any more to do it as long as you're doing it your normal doctor visit. It doesn't, I mean.
But we know that there are doctors out there that are charging more, right?
You have to hit a different button instead of that says 6 ounces. You have to say specify different amount, and you have to type like 16.
Yeah. But there are some doctors. I know this is actual and factual, because it happened here too. There are some doctors that will charge you more to get your higher plant count.
Oh, there were doctors when we opened charging you more because you wanted to cultivate, but not just the cultivation state fees, just because they were going to give you a license to cultivate, but the doctor visit has nothing to do with it.
Stop it, doctors. You're supposed to take care of people. That's what we trust you to do.
First.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Can still make a living and help patients.
Thank you for clarifying that, she says.
Yeah, thanks, Sheila.
Yeah, that was a good question.
She's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we do it based on plant count, because in Colorado we can grow and also have a purchase. But when we base on plant count, it's also based on like what we can purchase. Like, you can have this many plants and your purchase limit is this much. So it's kind of like
count, but you can increase your purchase and possession amount.
Yeah, ours is different now. Like the plant count, the certification from the doctor to grow is different from the purchase capability. They separate how it's regulated and where it's just because we have 2 different departments, that don't talk to each other. So
at all,
the regulation department and the health department, and they're like, yay, we want you to have this from the doctor, but the dispensaries are required to keep it, but you don't have to file it anywhere with the state. It's just required to make sure you have it on file. It's like, but, and then someone's going to regulate it if you don't do it right.
Exactly. They're just putting rules that don't do anything for anybody or protect anybody.
No, it's just good. Well, because I say this over and over again, especially when we talk about stuff like this. they're making rules based on their stigma of our community and our plant, and not based on the community and the plant. So if they were making rules and regulations in order to protect us, which is what they're supposed to be doing, like protect us and our health, protect us from being price gouged by the
I have patients without access to medication because the dispensary just says it'll be a week before we get any more flour.
That's craziness. That's craziness. Well, you are at the beginning of the industry too, so I kind of get
well,
that.
They could have protected med patient supply better.
They should have protected med patient supply, and I feel like Colorado did this a little bit too.
And it's only spotty right now, but we still got a ways to go.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they just, like I said, they make these laws based on the stigma that they have for the plant and based on the greed.
Yep.
The consumeristic greed. They want more money in their pockets to put into the general fund. Where do we think the general fund goes, you guys? It's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. What are we paying for? And I need a better breakdown of that general fund.
Like we see, and also the way I think about it too, or when we're looking at it as more states legalize, and we saw there was the report that there was a drop in sales tax from Colorado since 2020 to now or whatever, and what happens when everyone's legalized and this no longer is a tourist draw, or everyone, are we going to be able to regulate the numbers and say, okay, or is it, like we pay an additional, taxes here for being where I'm at, we have a resort tax plus whatever state taxes plus the, extra taxes that recreation pays. So it's 20 to 30% more taxes on our adult use recreational sides, know, and then people are like, why should I get my medical card? Because you pay 8% instead.
Yeah,
right. Because it saves you, and they're destroying, and also to save your medical program. Literally, it doesn't look like it now because you guys are just starting out with adult use.
Oh yeah, it's a change. It's going to be a huge change, especially not quite this year because this year will be a transition year. So it'll be sort of a mess. But next year when nobody's renewing that has had a card for 4 years like me,
well,
and doesn't need a card for 3 years now.
If the state is not willing to protect the medical program will just be dismantled brick by brick.
It's in our Constitution. So
it is in our Constitution as well.
But
listen, it's in our Constitution as well, but it doesn't say where we have to get our medical stuff from. It says we'll provide whatever, but it could be the rec place. So there's a lot of places.
Our rec meds are together.
So there's a lot of places. I think that's what should happen, but they should still protect the med as much as possible. There are some cities in Colorado that have done that where the rec has to be attached to a medical facility. It's few and far between. Yeah. And so it's almost impossible. It's almost impossible to find a medical dispensary. It is not impossible. Some people, if you get on here and you're in Denver or wherever, you're gonna be like, no, there's plenty.
But if you're in some weird.
But I live 30 minutes outside of Denver, right? And she lives, she lives up in the mountains. So we are in these obscure places, and then the only option we have is adult use to pay these taxes because there's no medical facilities available, because they've done this thing where they said, we just said that you can have it. That's what the Constitution says, that you can have access to it. It doesn't say how your access has to be. It doesn't say it has to be in a medical program with less taxes
or affordable. It doesn't protect it.
Or affordable med.
All of ours have a comprehensive, so they literally just tax you different at the register.
Right. That could be helpful, but I recommend
you got to be at a separate counter.
They don't have to. They can choose to. So some places may be choosing to. There's a lot of
Right.
different dispensaries, but they don't have to have a separate line. Some of them will let medical patients skip the rec line. And
Yeah, they did that in Vegas.
But,
That's a fairly good model for patients, I think.
Yeah,
they would have a medical
but it
line.
varies by dispensary to dispensary, and
Are only
what's
certain
going to be 6 months from now or a year from now. If we
are
had
all of the products available to all of the people? And
right now, I mean, if a dispensary wants to offer them, yes. If a dispensary chooses not to offer them, then they could choose to offer this on.
Because like there's some places that do this model, but then like you can only purchase certain things on medical, and then
Not
these
legally.
things are on adult use, so you would have to pay the taxes on those or whatever the adult
Not
use.
legally. Legally, they could choose to sell you, but as I said, dispensaries could say, "Oh, these are our medical products, and these are our rec products."
But generally speaking, they're all kind of mushed together.
They're all the same. Anything
just
can
in
be
a
bought
different
by
tax
anybody.
bracket.
There's no like Oklahoma's looking at doing a THC percentage limit.
Yeah.
Missouri doesn't have that at all.
No,
anyone can buy anything right now.
It's not a good idea to do that because there's always all of these amazing advances in cannabis.
I'm one of those people who requires all those concentrates and things like that.
Yeah, right.
You're not not alone, and that's why we need to remember to protect these freedoms of being able to medicate the different ways that we have available to us. It's a holistic approach, and we do have many ways to use it. So
I actually I have these two crazy news stories that I wanted to kind of talk about because I think they're kind of weird, and they're like right in the alley of like this over regulation, this over like this big brother kind of situation. So in Rhode Island, they attempted to prevent gatherings of more than 3 people, cannabis gatherings of more than 3 people. They tried to pass a law
because we're so unruly. If we get into crowds, like what?
Yeah, like
so. What happens if I'm a mom, dad with 2 kids that both medicate? We can't all be together.
Yeah, right. So this was some of. I'm sure this is some of the conversations that were happening in like. I bet you there were like moms yelling at people. Like, I can just imagine it.
Aren't there worse things in the world at this point?
There are. And let me tell you, while we're looking at this story, we were just at a venue that is a social venue for cannabis. And we were there for Super Bowl, and there was not a drink limit, and alcohol was free with your ticket. So there was some unruliness a little bit, and some aggression, and I was just like, this wouldn't be happening if we were just all smoking cannabis and not like getting drunk here,
I've gone to a lot of different cannabis things, and honestly, it's all been really like the worst injury has been like somebody fell down and skinned their knee,
Right. It's no big deal. It's no big deal.
Like there's no violence.
It's like literally we don't even. So, and that's the reason there was no violence that night too for me, because I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to smoke a blunt and finish watching this football game, because that's just not my vibe, right? I'm not in the mood to fight with you. I'm just like, but don't talk to me that way. Because I will.
And drunk people, many people can hang out together at one time being drunk.
Yeah.
So what?
So these senators in Rhode Island tried to pass this bill, S-125. It was introduced on February 1st by 6 senators. So if this makes it to Rhode Island, when this makes it to Rhode Island, please don't vote for these people again. Senator Walter Falag, I don't know. Senator Leonidas, my Greek friends are going to be very upset with me. Reptakis, Senator David, I'm going to mess this up. I don't know. Tikoian. I apologize. And Senator Frank Sison. I don't know.
I'll post it on our Facebook if y'all want to know the representative's name.
I'm telling you, Senator Lou De Palma and Senator Susan Sosnowski. I'm sure these people are like, if they heard me trying to pronounce these names, they'd be like, stupid. They're not hard to pronounce, but like, are they spelled the same as? Anyways, it doesn't matter. If passed, the bill would make it illegal to have cannabis present at gatherings, which is defined in the bill as where a group of 3 or more have assembled. So you can't even have 3 people because a group is considered 3 or more people.
So we would be breaking the law if we were together.
Right now. We would be, I mean, if we were in the same room,
that would be horrible, wouldn't it?
Oh my God. In Rhode Island, we would be in trouble. So to have assembled or are assembling for social occasion or social activity. Have these people never played a board game in their whole lives? You need at least 4 people. You need 4 to make it the most enjoyable to 6.
We'll have a couple over.
4 to 6. You know, you have to have 4 to 6 people at a board game. They should sit down at one, the 6 of them, and see. Okay. So at a residence or premise. So not even at your house. You cannot have game night at your house and have cannabis present. And you'll fuck off, Rhode Island. For the first offense, it looks like a ticketed offense or whatever. First offense offenders would be charged $500, $750 for the second offense, and subsequent offenses $1,000. This is a money grab. This is This is like, how do we steal money from our citizens? We bust up their parties and charge them $1,000 because I would be up to $1,000 in a minute.
Yep.
In a minute.
I know people who would be just like, okay, so we're just going to have $1,000 party every weekend.
What? I know, right? Chip in.
I guess cost of admission.
Right. Like the cost of admission into this
right. If you can only find one person at the premises, I mean, we'll just make it really big for $1,000.
Here you go. They just come to the door and you just hand them a check.
Yeah, we'll just have it just everyone donate at the door when you walk in.
Lowell Farms, the state's only USDA organic hemp farm, posted about the bill and its effects on the residents on February 11th. Red alert. Check out this new cannabis bill introduced into at Rhode Island Senate by these senators whose names I can't pronounce. It creates a monetary fine for hosting 3 or more people on private property to smoke the marijuana, cannabis. The bill is in its current form would limit more than cannabis. It also includes hallucinogenics. Come on. I mean, some of these things are meant to do by yourself, but some of these things are like social. You hang out with your people and you trip a little bit of balls and then, go on like a nature hike. Something that's just it's mine.
There's just so much more problems in the world than worrying about what people are doing.
Like, you don't give a fuck if we're out here hanging out with 3 or more people and drinking booze and
we could play beer pong all night long. Nobody would care how much we drank.
They would not give 2 fucks until we fought each other, and then
they just Uber it to our house if just order delivery.
It just like hit me in the face. They already they're like, well, when they get drunk, they fight each other, and so then when we can arrest them then and get the money from them then.
But they're not going to get that from us.
But they won't get that from us, so then they got to create this kind of bullshit right here. Well, they're not going to fight, so what if we made it illegal for them to hang out? Like what? What? Oh, you're just going to put us in solitary confinement with our cannabis? I mean, come on.
No, because then they
if you have a medical license, you cannot speak to anybody.
Yeah.
So Lovewell Farms also pointed out that Rhode Island's adult use. Thank you. Holler at Lovewell Farms. Holla at Lovewell Farms for pointing this out, because I bet nobody knew what the fuck was going on. He also pointed out Rhode Island's adult use cannabis sales began last year, December 1st, 2022, but a bill such as S-125 directly clashes with the current law. Now, this is all very strange considering the state regulated adult use cannabis last year. In fact, in that bill, it specifically prevents adults from being penalized for possession or consumption of cannabis. But that's exactly what this new bill does. Exactly what it does. And for the money, pay the piper. It's like some Robin Hood shit where like the king is like, go collect my money, go collect from these drug users.
But see, if we start letting them just regulate this, like we're not really even legislate, like it's not free anymore. Like we just made more rules,
right?
And every single other thing is going to be the same way. And guess what? People can't keep just the difference between our consumer and our medical law. Let's start having like mushroom laws and all that type of things.
Right?
Who's going to be able to understand it all?
Right?
And keep track of it all.
I think, I'm on board with making sure that we're consuming a safe product, but beyond that, I'm just like overtaxing us and
making sure that children do not, like a 2-year-old doesn't have access to it.
But let's talk about that for a second. I still want to finish this article, but let's talk about that for a second because the alcohol companies are out here selling those push-up pop, the icy pops in their coolers. You could buy an icy pop full of alcohol. And if I put that in my cooler, I got kids and my kid mistakenly eats that could be very dangerous, especially if it's a very small child. Now let's put that same concept into cannabis. If I have icy pops that have cannabis in them, which I have,
you need to store them responsibly.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but if my kid does get into them, because kids get into shit.
Oh, yep. My kids are
they're not in danger of dying or having like a brain damage situation.
You're going to have a horrible
night. Alcohol poisoning, right? They're just going to have a very long night. They might sleep through it. The furry kid that I have has gotten into some of my stash before, and let me tell you something. It's the worst experience ever. She just pees on herself, and sometimes she vomits, and then she just goes to sleep. It's not fun. It's not fun. But it's not going to kill. I never worried about her dying from it. Like I would be more worried about you dying from the ingredients that are in it other than cannabis.
Yep.
So like, I think it's crazy because Rhode Island was one, I think one of the states that prohibited frozen foods. I think Rhode Island was one of the states. I might not be remembering that correctly, but that was prohibiting frozen food. So you couldn't have like ice cream or anything like that you had to put in the freezer.
That's crazy. Again, denying access to ways that people can consume.
It's weird.
Pediatric patients that aren't probably going to just smoke a joint at 2 years old.
Right. Give the kid an icy pop.
That's how you choose to medicate your child, but most 2-year-olds probably aren't going to effectively.
We're not smoking our 2-year-olds out, are we? We're not doing that. Sadly, we're not doing that. Y'all don't do that.
You never know with people, so I make no judgment on how they medicate.
I'm not gonna be a judger because I don't have children, but I don't think that's probably the most effective.
But then you have the pediatric patients that parents want options, and gummies are a great option, but gummies don't work for everyone.
Right.
So, you have autistic kids or kids with eating disorders.
Yeah.
Well, we just had good times on the show on Monday. Today's Wednesday, right? On Monday. And they have created a way so that, and there's some companies out there that have also done the science, but they have created these like little pockets that kind of attach to the stomach lining. And so instead of metabolizing and getting a completely different cannabinoid in a much more potent way, they're getting directly Delta-9 in the dose that they took. So it's really interesting, the science behind it, and being able to have that kind of availability or that kind of innovation and growth is going to be really important. And I feel like sometimes our laws are holding us, well, not sometimes, a lot of times our laws are holding us back from being able to do that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to me that alcohol, like you can drink alcohol and you know, hang out with more than 3 people, and you know, it's crazy. I don't know. Like, and we've seen the reports on what alcohol does to our bodies and our brains. And we've seen the many asshats that have, myself included, I've definitely been an asshat in my life, that have like had a little bit too much alcohol or a lot too much alcohol and, you know, behave badly.
Again, it goes down to money, right? You know, and all the different systems, whether it's the you know, just the liquor industry itself, the, you know, prison system that, you know, people of color and people of, you know, not a lot of money, what do they turn to? And so again, it just, alcohol is not the
it's the easiest drug to get, and it's legal, and you're not breaking any laws by getting it if you're of age. It's like, you know, and it's the military's drug of choice, if I may.
Little, you know,
it's the military's drug of choice.
It's not regulated. It's not,
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. It's encouraged. It's encouraged. Like drink that pain away. It's encouraged to cry into your beers. Yep. According to a 2022 Rhode Island Cannabis Act, the law protects residents who use cannabis for personal use, notwithstanding any other general or special law to the contrary, except as otherwise provided in this chapter. A person 21 years of age or older shall not be arrested, prosecuted, penalized, sanctioned, or disqualified under the laws of the state in any manner, or denied any right or privilege, and shall not be subject to seizure or forfeiture of assets. It goes on to cite the ACLU, this article, which is in High Times, by the way, citing an ACLU Rhode Island report, Lovewell Farms Holler addresses how a bill like this would negatively affect people who have already been targeted unjustly due to the war on drugs. Also, keep in mind that Black people in Rhode Island are more than 8 times more likely to be arrested or fined than non-Black people, and that's more than Ferguson, Missouri, which that's crazy talk. What would implementation of this law look like? Probably disproportionate fines for people of color. And you know, it goes on. Well, did you say you posted it already in the thing?
I did. I put it on our Facebook page.
So let's see. So the Cannabis Act was signed into law May 2022. I'm just trying to see if this other law, I think it's a December 22, right in the line after that, right there. During the first week of adult use sales, December 2022, this is what they collected. So they do have adult use. It's crazy to me that you would pass an adult use law and then say you can't hang out. Y'all can't hang out. None of that.
Absolutely not.
We're going to tempt you to hang out, so maybe we can catch you partying, and then we can find you and prosecute
and your Karen neighbors. Right? Your Karen neighbors are going to call the police on you
because they smell something.
And especially if your neighbors are people of color, especially that, because they don't like that at all. They will the tears. I can't take it. So be careful. But I don't think that's passed into law. I think it's just something that's being suggested. Holla at Lovewell Farms for bringing it to people's attention and posting it on their page. I don't know what their page is, but I'm sure you could Google it and find them. So yeah, that's a crazy law, and definitely pay attention, Rhode Island. You do not want that law to be put into effect because it will disproportionately affect neighborhoods of color and also lower income neighborhoods. It will disproportionately affect those neighborhoods. And I said this about Missouri too, when we were having all of these conversations about Amendment 3, and everybody was like, It's legalizing cannabis. And I'm like, you are not ending prohibition. You understand that this is not ending encounters with the police because of cannabis. Like, what can we do better? We can't do any better, but you can. Like, you totally can.
We could have done better.
And if
you were bills that were competing that were better.
Right. There's senators that were talking about doing legalizing through legislative measures. You know,
the people who backed A3 were the biggest people who stopped those from happening.
Exactly. And so you know, it was just to me, it was a level of impatience, and the people who were impatient, guess what?
I have people on probation and parole who were told that our Constitution allows them to use. But every day I get calls from patients being told by the probation officer they still have to obey federal law and they can't medicate.
Right.
Even if they have a medical card?
Even if they have a medical card, because it still says you have to obey medical law or federal law in your probation terms. We didn't change federal law. So they're still not letting as a whole. Now, I do have patients on probation that have medicated for years with the judge's approval, but it still depends on your judge.
But they have to get their judge's approval on their case.
Probation officer, but then what happens when your probation officer changes next week?
Right.
That's what's happened to a few of my patients as well. So while it says it in the Constitution, it's not right now, and I know we're new still, but it's still, we don't have patients all medicated.
The rollout's a little rocky.
We do have expungements. That's great.
Yeah, but I think a lot of those are being applied for and not
the ones in prison have to apply for them, which are the ones to me needed to be automatic.
Need them the most.
Automatic ones are the people who are already out.
Yeah, and not all of those are being approved for automatic expungement either.
Yeah.
So you know, some cannabis offenses do not apply, and again, there's still potential within the law for police encounters
for good cause, and it's not.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff not defined, and that's part of the problem. Things weren't defined.
We asked that a lot right before the vote too. What does good cause mean? What does that mean? And whose discretion is it up to? Like just
because they may do something doesn't mean they have to. They could if they choose to.
Yeah, like if I'm feeling it today, if I like the look on your face, if I, you know.
And again, what if you can't afford legal counsel? Is your public defender, going through the steps to help you out?
They damn well better, because according
they got that,
yeah, they just got that money according to Wiley. So so they damn well better do their fucking jobs if they've just been given a little chunk of money, not only prior to the cannabis vote, but after the cannabis vote, they got that little 2% little bump, right? Was it 2% for them?
Something percentage.
It was like a low percentage.
I lost the audio for a second.
Oh, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, good.
Just glitched out for a second. You know how that goes?
Yes, I do. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
So we're at the part of the show where we are going to do some advertisements.
Awesome.
Right? Aren't we there? Yes.
Yep. And then stick around for the Would You Rather.
Stick around for the Would You Rather. Yeah. This show is brought to you, of course, by CQ LLC. So let's pull that banner up.
That's her.
That's me. CQ LLC is a compliance and education company. www.cq-llc.com. We are certified responsible vendor training provider in the state of Colorado. Customer service, cqllc@gmail.com is where you can reach us. 970-426-5985 if you want to sign up. Right now we have online, click through it, figure it out situation. But we are working on a live and also potentially a hiring event. So stay tuned for that. That'll be a good time. This show is also brought to you, of course, by Queen Kitty Seltzer. Boop, boop, boop. Grab a can. Grab a can of Queen Kitty Seltzer. That's not the song. Sorry. Queen Kitty Seltzer, www.queenkittyseltzer.com. Solo solo.to/Queen Kitty Seltzer if you want to follow our socials. Queen Kitty Seltzer has no THC, no sugar or sweeteners, absolutely no yak in the back. It tastes like water. It's made with organically grown hemp and natural botanical flavors for those that have flavors in them. We do have a Nearly Naked, a Bubblegum Burst, and a Lemon Kiss. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. You'll love it. I promise you won't be disappointed. You can buy them on a website. We're working and discussing Amazon finds, and you can also purchase our merch on the website. So www.queenkittyseltzer.com is where you can find our stuff. We have a little piece of education on each can because we think education is important.
And us.
And us. We're important too. Pop this kitty, put it in your mouth. It's good. Tastes like water. It's my favorite. Next week, we are going to have Randy from Main Ingredient on the show again. We're going to catch up with him and see how things are going. That's going to be on Monday, February 27th. And we're having a discussion about Wednesday, March 1st. We're gonna play that. We're gonna figure it out this week. We'll know very soon what's happening on March 1st. So that's been your advertisement corner.
Good job.
Thanks.
Well done.
So I have a couple of would you rathers for us to answer. The audience, please answer also. We would love your input on this. I don't know which one's my favorite today, but I'll figure it out before I upload it on Spotify and Apple iTunes and Google Podcasts. I'll figure it out before I upload there. Just in case you're wondering, you can go to solo.to/CannabisCloset420 to find all of our social media, including our Discord link. You can come join us on Discord, hang out with us. If you can't catch the show at 4:20 on Monday and Wednesday, you can catch it later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Usually I upload it the next day. Sometimes I'm a slacker, so just be patient. But all of the shows prior to this one are uploaded, and you can go check them out and put a little AirPod in and do what you got to do around your house or around your job, and just listen to us gab a little bit. It'll be the audio version. So we got 2 would you rathers today. I got 2. The second one is okay. So if you were in a situation where this was it, this is the end, and you're in the ocean, okay? I don't know how you got there. I'm not going to judge you about that, but you're in the ocean. Would you rather drown or be eaten by a shark as your last way to go out?
Drown.
You would rather drown?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
no
way.
I want to be fair of watching blood, all that. Yeah, no. That could be long and drown out.
Oh, but I feel like drowning could be long and drown out. I feel like if you get caught right in the abdomen,
once you start drowning, though, it's gonna be over. You could be bleeding to death for hours.
If he doesn't eat you,
you
all
don't
the way.
think he would eat you right away?
He could just rip off, a couple fingers where you're just bleeding to death.
Okay, if it's just a couple fingers, though, you could survive.
You could, but you could bleed to death over days too.
Or you could drown, or you could attract more sharks.
I think either way you're dying. So it's either drowned or be eaten. So
I just feel like drowning while you're trying to gasp for air.
Like it's a chomp and you die.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought it would be quick, but now she's like talking me out of it.
I mean, I don't feel like it's like an alligator situation where it's rolling you and stuffing you under a log and leaving you for days to like tenderize. Like, I feel like at least my Hollywood perception of eaten by a shark. Cannabis hemp is awesome. You are joining in at the very end of our show.
You're catching our Would You Rather segment.
Every show we do a Would You Rather segment. And so you have caught us in the Would You Rather portion of the show. If you want, you can catch the earlier Canna Answers, with
you can start at the beginning. I think YouTube lets you start at the beginning. We definitely really some different conversations, but we're at this part, and we did read a disclaimer, but just a reminder that we talk about everything around here, and sometimes there's language, and sometimes there's gross, and sometimes there's triggers. So just be careful.
Be ready.
We're saying if you're in the ocean, would you rather drown or would you rather be eaten by a shark as your last action in life? And I thought I would want to be eaten by a shark, but
I'd rather drown.
I'm wondering.
I'm thinking the fear of being attacked by a shark would be more than the fear of drowning. It would be more trauma to go through.
Okay. So you going out whole.
I just rather I mean, hey, at least your family may find your body if the shark eats you whole. Maybe
I just feel like that's it takes a long time to pass out from drowning. I feel like because your body does everything in its power. I think only
a couple minutes.
I don't know then. Maybe I would. No, I wouldn't drown.
See, my biggest fear, one of my biggest fears is just drowning. I mean,
yes.
With water, for me, is actually an automatic no.
Oh, I'm a fish. I kayak, and I mean,
I love the water. I'm same, but also, I don't want to drown while I'm loving the water. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I don't want to feel the pain of being bitten by a shark. I guess if we really think about that.
If you think this one's hard, wait till the next one.
Oh, great.
You're still going to be awake until you die, right? or you're mostly conscious.
I would just be praying to the Lord universe that please let me pass out and not feel anymore. I'm ready.
Right, which is quicker. I don't know. That's a hard one.
Which is quicker, dying by shark attack?
I know. Somebody Google it. Which is faster, dying by drowning or shark?
There might be some science in that, which is quicker. I bet. I guess depending on your wounds. I guess depend on your shark bite wounds, how quickly you get eaten.
Right.
I mean, they bite half your body off. It's probably pretty fast.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, if you get me up to the abdomen, we're good. We're going out quick. So the other one is a little less deathy.
A little less, not a lot less.
But could also when you spot again on Dateline. I've been watching a lot of it. That's why I keep bringing it up. I watch it all the time on repeat. Would you rather have a hole the size of your big toe in every pair of your socks, in all of them, or have all of the food that you eat be a little bit wet?
The word damp might
moist.
Slightly, not crispy.
Just slightly. When you get that drip of the pickle juice on the potato chip and it gets a little soggy. All of your food is like that.
Your sandwich is made it 4 hours ago soggy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when you're a kid, you got your lunchtime and it was your mom had made it hours before and
it had a tomato on it.
In Florida, it's condensed. You have that condensation.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, my mom would freeze them too, so then it was even better.
I'm gonna making
a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is so time consuming in the morning. She would freeze them.
No, and then they would be all my god,
mush. Because bread's been frozen with it in, and then shoved in there.
I'm having trauma right now. I'm having real trauma right now. I'm gonna have to I can't stand a hole in my sock, but I can't eat partially wet food.
I would do the socks.
I would just stop wearing
the
socks.
Sock over and then wear 2 pairs of socks and not have a hole. So
I mean,
crisscross them.
I mean, you could do that.
That's exactly how I would do socks. Not even
I
a
would
choice.
just stop wearing socks, to be honest.
In the summer.
But shoes without socks,
But in the summer you can get away with it. So.
I mean,
I say
half the year you'd
come
still
up
be
with
good.
other ways to deal with not wearing socks. The issues that come with not wearing socks.
I can't. They're not. I mean, there are some
I
shoes. I
crisscross my socks. I just wear 2, flip 1.
She said I came up with a solution. So there. I would have a hole in my sock. I would just try to pull. I would try to pull it over my toe, even though I know it would slip back.
You could also get a needle and thread and fix them all.
I mean, but then another hole will form because it's the curse. It's the curse. The curse is you always have a hole in your sock. So the curse is that you wear socks, and also if you try to sew it up.
I still think I do socks.
I would still do socks.
I love my food. I like to eat. Okay.
I would still do socks. What kind of crazy gumption does it take to come into somebody's podcast for the very first time ever and promote yourself?
I know. Welcome.
What are you doing right now? Get out of here with that. That's crazy. That's very selfish. So yeah, I would take the socks for sure because I can't have my food being wet. I just can't do it.
I want my crunchy stuff.
It makes me want to fight. It makes me want to fight real bad.
I like to eat too much. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I do too. Listen, I'm in a mood today, so I'm not even giving second chances. I said what I said.
Yeah.
And it's not even a timeout kind of day. It's a goodbye kind of day.
Sorry.
I don't even.
It wasn't even relevant to the conversation.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, it's not like we were talking about something. He's like, oh yeah, here's the link for that.
Yeah, this is what I like too. Or hey, this. I'm going to contribute to the conversation of our would you rather.
Right.
And then hey, this is I like to talk about shit like this on my show. Come check me out.
I can't stand y'all. Don't advertise. Don't come in here without permission and advertise your shit in my comment section. It's rude. It's rude. It's rude. I would never do that to you. I would never come into your comment section without permission and advertise myself. I would never ever do that to you. If I advertise myself, it's because somebody asked me to. It's because you asked me to.
Yeah.
Or
there's a show I do that every week. Well, I've been asked to.
Or sometimes I go into some of my friends' lives and they'll give me a shout out, and then that's when I'll put my shit up.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Just don't. We're here to teach life lessons. That's what we're here to do.
Might want to watch this next one.
Yeah, no, I see it. I see you. So yeah, I would. Yeah. So that's the would you rather for the day. Why are you interrupting me right now? You're so annoying. Goodbye.
Would you rather like that?
It's the curse. It's if you were cursed with one of these things and you can't change it, you have to wear socks. So you have to wear them. And every time you tried to fix them, another hole would show up.
I still got to have my crunchy food.
Yeah, no, me too. I don't want no soggy. It's a traumatic event when I think about soggy potato chips.
Socks all
I mean, I love all my sauces. Don't get me wrong, but I can't have soggy potato chips and moist bread. That's
it's gross.
Yeah,
it's traumatizing.
Crispy toast. I like crackers and cookies.
Yeah, everything would taste stale or
crisp.
Yeah,
no.
It would take you right back to the 80s, right? Because where your mom didn't put the tomato in a separate baggie because we're trying to save the planet or some shit.
Oh, and even that when it happens now with sandwiches, if you get to go. No, I don't.
Can you put that tomato on the side? Don't put no watery food on my sandwich, please.
No.
It's a turn off. It's a whole turn off. So, that's our cue.
I know. Well,
So
she has been the whole show. If you haven't,
she has held on.
Up in my grill. She's been needy.
She's been needy, but she's held on to that voice. Like she's real held on. So we will be back on Monday with Randy from Main Ingredient. Wait, let me take this other one down. Whoop. There you go. So you can see that. From Main Ingredient. He will be here to talk about health, wealth, and beyond. So we're gonna catch up with him and see how he's doing. And we will let you know then what's going on Wednesday as well. I want to say thank you to our guest, Deb Nash, for coming on today. Thank you so much for taking some time out. We love it. Follow Canna Answers on Facebook. And do you have any other social media that we could follow?
I have a website too, CannaAnswers.com, and I have all of our rules and regulations on the website as well, legal language. Everything.
Dope. That's very helpful.
Laid out. It is very.
Yes, I have it by like section. So when you're a caregiver, you can only read the caregiver rules, and you don't get lost in the website that the state provides. Which also, if anybody is watching this, still has our old laws mixed in with our new laws, sometimes in the same paragraph. So be very careful on our state's website.
Tell us about Irish Fest, March 18th.
Irish Fest, it's March 18th in Kansas City. It's 10 a.m. or noon to 10 p.m. in the West Bottoms. They're going to have live music and vendors. I'll be there offering medical cards and answering questions. See Red, which is Doc Mac's race car, will be there as well. And I don't know all what they're having. And they're also doing the parade in Kansas City the day before as well. And nice. Cannabis themed float for the first time.
Nice.
Yay. Fun.
I love places like that. Their little parades, their little local.
That's like the Kansas City. This is supposed to be like a huge parade. So that'll be the Friday. And then Saturday we'll have Irish Fest, all downtown celebrating.
Was it last year or the year before that we were in St. Louis for?
They've done a couple things in St. Louis. There's stuff all like every weekend in Missouri.
I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but I was in St. Louis for sure for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, they might have done something. They did something. They did Irish Fest up there too, something similar, but this is new, bigger, way huger. They're bringing in lots of people from other
This was just like a neighborhood, whatever the neighborhood is in St. Louis, the Irish neighborhood in St. Louis.
I would not be familiar because St. Louis is, I live near Joplin. So I am like near Kansas and Oklahoma.
Right.
And they're the opposite side of the state from me.
Well, those listening in St. Louis, drop us a line.
We know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're going to know.
Yeah.
We went last year. We went to a parade.
It was last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you come back to Missouri, let me know.
Absolutely. So come on with you, like, get out of here. I'm just gonna do it right away. So you guys, be nice to yourself. Put your mask on before assisting others. It's very important. You cannot pour from an empty cup.
Yes. Cultivate love. To you.
Cultivate love. Yeah, absolutely. You deserve it. I just want you to know that. You absolutely deserve it. So don't think that you don't. And if you don't feel like you know where to find it, come talk to us. We'll chit chat with you. We'll show you some love.
Show up in our.
This boy say I'm pretty in my DM. Listen. Can I say something? Just on that. Don't tell me I'm pretty. I already know. If you're a boy telling me I'm pretty, I already know. If you're a girl telling me I'm pretty, keep it coming. That's how I feel about it. And of course, woo, woo, woo.
That's our cue to be done.
That's our cue. Let me block this user first. Yeah, you too, buddy.
Love you, Kelly.
All right.
Thanks, everybody, for